Hey everybody, it's Alan. Hope you are doing well. Back on Sunday, December 17th, it was the anniversary of the passing of the great Captain Beefheart. He passed away in 2010. In honor of his memory, here is the song, When I See Mommy, I Feel Like a Mummy.
From my hand blows away like a feather. Every time I grab her, every time I grab her. Oh, when I see mommy, I feel like a mummy. Gonna wrap her up, gonna wrap her up. Next time I see her, like breath on a mirror. Like breath on a mirror. Like when I see mommy, I feel like a mummy. I feel like a mummy.
God, I do love a long, slow fade. Um, when I think of Captain Beefheart, I think very unique artist and voice. And then I take a second and I realize, there's actually really a lot of similarities drawn between Captain Beefheart and Tom Waits. I think they're both really interesting and pretty unique artists, but there are a lot of similarities between those two particular artists. Both of them are interesting, poetic, and musically. Vocally, they have a unique voice, not too dissimilar from, say, like a Bob Dylan or, even a Neil Young or a Dave Matthews. It's a voice that's unique, and some people aren't going to love it. Like, I'm not, as much as I respect Neil Young, I'm not the biggest fan of his voice. As much as I respect Bob Dylan, I'm not a big fan of his voice, but I understand its uniqueness and I do appreciate it for what it is. And obviously, as these artists have gotten older, their voices have changed, they've gotten deeper, they have unique ways of singing that they've actually put themselves or sort of practice themselves into. Musically, Beefheart and Waits are very similar in the sense that they choose to do, unique time signatures, unique instrumentation, unique feel. They're not really going for any kind of mainstream popularity. They're sitting in their own sort of genre that really actually suits them. Now, I've had conversations with Captain Beefheart fans, and I've, sort of talked to them and juxtaposed the Tom Waits similarities. And I'm always shocked at how some people are really defensive about it. It's like, no, it's not. This is totally unique. It's like, okay, calm down first and foremost. Okay, there really should, when it comes to music, there really shouldn't be a sides taking kind of scenario. I mean, just appreciate the art for what it is. Yes, there are similarities, there are differences. It's totally fine. I think it stems back to well before the argument of Hendrix or Clapton. There are people out there who would argue Beethoven or Bach, Mozart or Beethoven. It's like the artistry should just be appreciated for what it is, and the differences and similarities should also be appreciated. But we have this natural desire, I guess, to try to pick a side and pick a favorite and try to rank things. It's like you've heard me say in the past, I hate the GOAT conversation. Well, I do. I really hate it because everything is special in its own time and place. And to try to pick a greatest of something is absolutely ludicrous. Go to the guitar player argument. Okay. Hendrix or Clapton, who's the GOAT? Well, there are people out there who'd be like, well, Eddie Van Halen or Randy Rhoads is the GOAT. There are people who'd be like, well, Yngwie Malmsteen's the GOAT or Stevie Ray Vaughan's the GOAT. And then other people would be like, yeah, well, none of them are playing jazz like, Wes Montgomery or Charlie Christian. None of them are playing classical music like Andres Segovia or, Christopher Perkinen or Elliot Fisk or Leona Boyd. None of them are playing country guitar like Roy Clark or Glenn Campbell or Vince Gill or Marty Stewart or, So this whole argument about who's the best, who's better than this and who's better than that is just, it's a stupid waste of time that people tend to get caught up in, and it drives me crazy. I don't care if you're talking about musicians, artists, poets, sports, athletes, race car drivers, golfers. It doesn't matter. You got to evaluate each person for your own personal taste as to whether or not it's an artist that you enjoy. But don't belittle another artist because you don't enjoy them. It might not be a thing for you, but it might be a thing for somebody else. And so I play on here artists that people don't necessarily listen to. Bands like the Aquarium Rescue Unit, the Hampton Grease Band, Captain Beefheart, Tom Waits, you name it. And it's like, yeah, they don't get as many hits, and I don't care. I appreciate them. I enjoy them, and I put them up here and maybe find a commonality between me and some of the viewers on here. And I just think it's a stupid conversation to have. It's just ridiculous. I enjoy Captain Beefheart. I enjoy Tom Waits. I enjoy, you know, mainstream stuff too. I love Hall & Oates. I love Chicago. I love Boston. I love, I'm a big Miranda Lambert fan. It's like my musical tastes are all over the damn place. And to sit here and be like, that's the greatest thing of all time. This is the greatest singer of all time. Steve Perry's got the greatest voice. Well, I hate to tell you this, but, the George Michael fans on here are going to argue with the Steve Perry fans if we don't just agree to get along and understand that they're all great. Okay, they're all great in their own way. Just let it be and enjoy it. Why close yourself off to something with an argument about love and hate or this is better than that? It's like when you sit there and start to rank things, when you sit there and start to, acknowledge that you have a particular favorite and that's the greatest thing, well, then you're closing yourself off to other people's opinions and other artists' talents, and it becomes a narrowing of the field. I'm sitting here every week listening to artists that I've never listened to because a friend of mine is a big Paramore fan and they want me to listen to Haley Williams and Paramore. It's like, I've never heard him before. I've never listened to any song by that band that wasn't suggested to me by a friend or by somebody on this channel. I'm not the biggest George Michael fan, but I really appreciate his voice. And a lot of the songs I've played on here have been suggested by other people. And I've listened to most of them, but I can't say honestly that I've listened to everything that I've done by George Michael on here. And if I have, I don't remember it, but I've appreciated it every time I have listened to it. And that's the thing. We have to be open. It's art. It's really creative. It's the creative flow of the artistic mind. And, hopefully most of what I play for you on here wouldn't be considered sort of cookie cutter, or mainstream pop vibe stuff. And if it is mainstream, it took a long time for it to become mainstream. Anyway, sorry, I've gone off on a tangent. Anyway, rest in peace to the great Captain Beefheart, who passed away again on December 17th, 2010. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please feel free to leave a comment. We can talk about it further. Just know that I appreciate you all and I wish you well. Take care.